Ladies and gentlemen, today I'm going to talk about frequently asked questions. These are the questions I am going to answer. Is there only one type of family company? What does it mean for family companies to be institutional and sustainable? What are the main problems of family companies? What should be done to solve the problems you have mentioned? Are there any issues to be considered at the stages of analysis and system or before proceeding with the forming of analysis and systems? What should be done after the complementation of the prerequisite for the solutions to the problems in family companies? Are there specific issues to be addressed at first? Which systems are needed to form the consulting process for family companies? How are these systems formed? Let's answer the questions now. The first question is there only one type of family company? According to my observations, evaluations, and studies about family companies are done as if there was only one type of family companies. Of course, it's not possible to say that family companies are uniform. Some family companies, such as bus company, has a big shareholder. The total share of other shareholders is below 75%. On the other hand, there are some family companies that have an IPO or some family companies belonging to more than one family. All of the family companies have different stages of life cycle. Some family companies are at stage of entry on the curve of life. Some of them are at the stage of maturing on the curve of life. Some family companies work for more than one generation. Whereas in some other family company, husband and wife work together. I can increase these samples. The kind of family companies changes depending on the stage of life cycle. Families and family companies are based on the number of generations working together. Families, companies, and countries' cultures, the amount of wealth that families and companies have, how many generations have been operating the family companies and families' size and the growth rate, how many companies they own. Therefore, I would say that there are different types of family companies. If the type of a family company is known and understood, the type of family company consultancy is going to be applied will vary. Because according to the type, characteristics of family companies, their needs, problems, and possible solutions would also change. The type of family companies is determined by the use of metrics related to such parameters: company life cycle, family life cycle, generation number, ownership transfer, management transfer, institutionalization rating, degree of intention, and commitment. You have to go through a process to determine the type of the family company. First, you put the parameters. Then, according to the result of the metrics, you make the evaluation and decide the type of the family company. The second question is, what does it mean for family companies to be institutional and sustainable? For the fact that both concepts are based on the health of the family companies. The modern medicine is described as being perfectly good in the sense of mental, physical, and psychological phase. Those three elements influence each other. That is to say, the physical health is important for family companies. The mental health of every member in the family companies is also important, like the mental health of people. Namely, the loss of all or part of the mental health of the major shareholder, the experience detection problems, the loss of assessment and questioning skills, and the loss of memory affect the continuity of the company. The physical health of the family companies means that it has an organizational structure and systems, and managing these systems independently of people. If the family company does not have an independent structure, then it is one of the most important reasons for the company to collapse. As the emotional health of people is important, emotional health of companies is important as well in terms of continuity. The transfer of past events to the present day, the mixing of emotions and logic when making decisions, inability to manage conflicts affect the health of the family companies in a negative way. The third question is, what are the main problems of family companies? For all family companies, the problems can be categorized under 9 main topics. However, problems may vary depending on the types of family companies. Also, each company has its own problems, characterized families and companies' culture. Problems also differ for each family company. Addition to this, the problems can change over time. Generally, the problems in family companies based on health, ownership, property, finance, management, human resources, communication, emotions, and thoughts. The fourth question is, what should be done to solve the problems you have mentioned? In order to be sustainable, institutionalized, and solve the problems of family companies, the conditions of the necessity must be met. I'm going to list the necessity conditions during the process of analyzing and consultants as follows. Everyone must be aware of the need for the change. There must be consensus on the issues of the problems which is needed for change, and everyone must define the problem in the same way. Multidimensional and continuous communications must be provided, and meetings must be held frequently. Everyone must take a part in the solution of the problems. If the problem is the person by itself, they must accept the situation and change it. The owners of the family companies must ensure the successful implementation of the change and whole process, and they must stand behind the work done, the decisions taken. The fifth question is, are there any issues to be considered at the stages of analysis and system, or before proceeding with the forming of analysis and systems? I would like to express, firstly, the evaluation of the family companies from the point of the view of the system approach makes an important contribution to understanding the problems and producing solutions. The family company's inputs are family members' feeling, emotions, thoughts, positive or negative experiences, egos, roles, bloodlines, backgrounds, society and family cultures, labors, know-hows, capitals, and so on. Family companies make decisions, make plans, operate and supervise activities with family and company interaction and association. End of the process, the family companies can be successful or not. They can achieve sustainable competitive advantage or not. They can hold on above average income and family loyalty or not. The emotional or rational perception of feedback can increase or decrease the level of institutionalization. Some conditions must also be met in the analysis and system formation stages. I can express these conditions as follows. The current situation must be designed correctly. The goal must be determined correctly, and the plan of the change must be made correctly. Each stage of change must be measured and people must be motivated to change. Changes must be constantly shared by people. The latest changes must be fixed till a new change is needed. Relationship between family members must be constantly paid attention. The staff and managers must be encouraged to participate in the management. The consultant must set the systems with the family members and must teach them how to use it, so that the company and family members must not be committed to the consultant. The consultant must not share the private and hidden information that is determined during the process of analyzing and setting up the system. The process of analyzing and consultancy must begin with that is approved by parties. The consultant must follow the operability of the system for a while after complements the process of the setting up. If there are severe conflicts among the family members that has been continuing from the very early years till today, and if the family members react to current situations with the sense of their past experiences and emotions, the process of the setting up the system must not shared without cleaning subconscious mind-remind programming. The sixth question is, what should be done after the complementation of the prerequisite for the solutions to the problems in family companies? First of all, after the decisions to work together, the consultancy process must be activated by providing basic family companies trainings before the analysis process. In this way, the communication process between the family members and counselors starts, the foundation of trust is laid, and all family members are brought to the same level of knowledge. Before the analysis, meetings must be held, the information forms and questionnaires must be filled, documents and systems must be reviewed, and in accordance with this information, the type of the family company must be determined. According to the type of family companies, analysis methods, analysis period, and analysis process must be clarified and analysis proposals must be prepared. After the acceptance of the offer, the contract must be arranged and signed by the process. Considering the analysis process, the matrix of urgency and importance, long-term work and short-term work matrix, basic systems, process systems, and critical systems matrix, work plan and proposal must be prepared and offered. First of all, the results of the analysis, the plan, and the proposal must be presented to entrepreneur and then to family members, and their questions must be answered. We can expect to start the work with different systems according to the problems. I can expect to start the work with different systems according to the problems of family companies. However, are there specific issues to be addressed at first? As to main problems of family companies, I can say the following. Although it can depend on the problems and the complexity of the problems, generally, one of the most important works to be done is forming and regulating legal structures and remind programming simultaneously. Therefore, Therefore, the family company's consultant must work with psychiatrists, psychologists, lawyers, and financial specialists and family members in this first stage. First of all, the risks must be understood very well. The risks such as the death of the major shareholders, loss of mental angels, loss, extramarital children, conviction, limitations, serious health problems, marriages, remarriages, divorces, underage children, remarriages of shareholder brides and grooms, many small shareholders must be analyzed very well. After that, while making the legal arrangements such as share transfer, shareholding, company main contract, marriage contract, testament, inheritance contract, board contract, on the other hand, some work must be done regarding subconscious in order to improve and healthier relationship between the family members to solve the emotional problems from the past, to balance the ego, and to return the individual negative characteristics to positive. However, I would like to underline the fact that legal issues can be regulated in a long term. I would also like to underline that it may need time to adapt in family members with the new system and to manage conflicts. Therefore, sometimes consultancy process starts with the basic systems. In some other times, in the process can be proceed in different ways. In the legal and psychological issues are complex, or if they are going to be completed in the long-term future, or even if they aren't of great importance, then working on issues related to business and behavior can be initiated first. And within these studies, legal and psychological studies can be started in the future. The eighth question is, which systems are needed to form the consulting process for family companies? How are these systems formed? As I mentioned before, consulting the family company is a team job. The family company consultant is the leader of this team. Hence, during the forming of the systems to be mentioned, the consultant of the family company may occasionally involve other experts in the process. After working on legal and psychological issues, works related to business and behavior issues can be done. For this purpose, parallel planning process specific to family companies must be initiated. The parallel planning process is a model which operates related to family and company subject simultaneously. In these companies, an arrangement will be made regarding the family will affect the company. An arrangement for the company will also affect the family. Therefore, systems must be created considering in this interaction. Parallel planning process must be initiated with the active functioning of administrative units. The administrative structure for family companies is another important subject to be considered. A general assembly of the company works as family assembly in the family, and a company's board of directors works in a family council in the family. The regulations related to structuring of the family forum, the family council, and the board membership, dismissal duties and responsibilities, working method, decision-making procedure, meeting, voting, and the activity period must be done. After administrative structuring, initially the vision statement and the mission statement for the family and the company must be determined. Then the strategic planning process for the family and the company must be initiated. The family and the company plans must be considered each other. And when making these plans, the influence they have towards each other must be considered. I have previously explained that the issues related to the transfer of ownership and management transfer for family companies must be included in the parallel planning process by taking the risks of the family company into account. For family companies, family planning, property, financial, human resources, management, asset management, family and company life cycle, risk management, retirement, successor, socio-emotional wealth, bridegroom orientation, nepotism, communication and conflict management issues must be included. Concurrently, for the company, issues such as ownership, financial, human resources, marketing, acquisitions, mergers, strategic partnership, company performance, invisible role and invisible management, corporate governance, social capital, organizational identity, changing or expanding the business area must be included in the business strategic plan and must be done taking into account each other. I would like to say something as last verse about family companies. Family companies that want to be sustainable must focus on institutionalization. The level of institutionalization of a family company can range from 0 to 100. And this value can change by any created system, any taken decision, or any arrangement made. In order to increase the level of institutionalization of a family company, the balance of emotion and logic must be established. The internal and external environmental conditions and the changes in these conditions must be correctly estimated. Family and company mission and vision statement must integrate each other. The family company stages must be implemented. Plans such as successor plan, risk plan, financial plan, the ownership plan must be made. In addition to this, an orientation system must be created for adaptation of brides, grooms, and their families to family and family company. Family constitution must be prepared and the constitution must be legalized. Decisions must be taken on whether the company belongs to the family or not, under which circumstances the company may be sold, and company's main contract must be done and then transferred from members to the family members who are connected to the family by bloodline. Finally, all these systems must be created out with a team coordinated by the family company consultant. In this program, I've talked about frequently asked questions. See you in another program.